the Healthy for Life program. Thank you for coming on board. I hope you managed to get some dinner before we started, but if not, that's okay. You can sit there and eat it whilst we're here anyways. I couldn't do the same. So just you'll see on the screen there, we've got a little question. So the first one is sharing any successes you've had during the week. So given that your first week was mainly about mindset and setting up some good habits, so journaling your food, starting to eat every 3 hours, creating a schedule for yourself for the weekday and the weekends, drinking more water, that sort of thing. Look at each and every one of those new habits as a success, even if you didn't manage to do it every single day. I'm not expecting you to be perfect by any means. So any of those things that you've managed to do, if you are doing a reset program, then sticking to that. Certainly if you're taking your essentials or your health pack vitamins, again, that's another wonderful success because these things are new habits. So over time, they'll become something that you don't think about much, like brushing your teeth. But in the meantime, any day that you remember that is a great success. So do celebrate those small wins. And challenges. So if you've had any challenges, say it might be not managing to drink more water, so that, or finding your bottom belief, we're going through the mindset questionnaire in the workbook. So Sherry, I'll give you that that workbook so that you can go through that yourself. And you know, if you did struggle with that, then the whole point of sharing a challenge is so that I can help you overcome that in the coming days, or certainly by the end of the course. So feel free to click through that at any time. If you do have any pressing questions throughout the program, there is a question, a little hand you can raise, and I can give you voice privileges, and you're most welcome to speak and ask the question. If not, at any point you can just use the chat box. I'll keep an eye on that and make sure that I get your questions answered. If there's anything during that you want clarified as well, please just ask or put something in that chat box so that I can give you a more detailed response or any extra information that you might need. Remember, this course is unique for you, so every time this runs, different questions come up, different personal experiences, and it's my hope that you get everything you want out of it. So please do ask as many questions as you like, and at any point during the time. So, right, we're going to kick off with week 2. So week 2 is detoxifying your body. Dun, dun, dun. Sounds exciting. A lot of weight loss programs talk about the detox. So the detox is, in a sense, there is never any full detox. You never fully detox. Your body is always going to carry some free radicals, always going to carry some toxicity, whether that be an acid imbalance or something, you know, stored in there. That's not the issue. The issue is if you are carrying an excess of toxicity in your body, then that's when you'll notice problems, whether that be weight problems or skin problems or energy problems or responses to food, maybe an intolerance there, also sickness and, you know, catching colds and not being able to protect yourself from disease and that sort of thing. And long term, obviously, those can become more serious things. But in the meantime, you can support your body and support your organs, which are continuously detoxifying and continuously processing your foods and any of those artificial things as well that are in your foods. Your body is continuously working to remove toxins, cleanse itself, and maintain a good equilibrium, a good balance of acid and alkalinity, and obviously processing your foods and doing its job as it should. So you'll certainly know if you have toxicity because it will manifest in one way or another that's abnormal. So unless, of course, you're often toxic in your body, then your new normal can be abnormal. So, for example, when I was suffering my leaky gut, my normal was to have bloating and pain immediately after eating and for several hours after that, and that was normal for me for many, many years. So, um, not not actually truly normal, very, very common, but not normal at all. So, certainly look at some of the things you think, really like to get rid of that. I'd really like to improve that, and certainly you can identify those things that are perhaps not really good for you, not really a pure cleansed system. All right, so let's move on in here. Da-da-dun. So, oopsie daisy. How do I continuously detoxify my body? Here are our top 10 ways. So, looking at this list, I'm going to just go through fairly quickly and then get into a bit more detail. So, eliminating alcohol, coffee, cigarettes, refined sugars, and saturated fats from your daily routine. The reason I put this as number one is because it's not what you do every now and again that creates the problem, it's what you do every day. So, your daily routine really should be that 80-20 rule. And the 80-20 rule simply states that 80% of the time, if you're eating clean, health giving foods, then and beverages, then 20% of the time is not really going to make a big deal. And certainly, if you're eating every 3 hours or so, you're probably having about 5 to 6 meals a day, small or meals and snacks. So, if you're doing that every day, then good 4 meals in your week can be total whatever meals. The sort of thing that you might be on this list, or hopefully not the cigarettes and alcohol too much. Those probably have the most long-term degenerative effect. Refined sugars, very much so nowadays. Looking at the state of our children as well, who are now facing a diabetes epidemic. So the uh, obesity-related diseases, and diabetes is certainly one of them. But yeah, if I were to choose from these, cigarettes definitely causes a lot of damage that's very, very long to reverse. Whereas coffee, yeah, a coffee a day isn't going to kill you. Certainly not if you're having a lot of other refreshing alkalizing foods and a lot of water as well. So eliminating these things is really completely up to you. Obviously, I don't tell anyone what to do, but it's a known thing that these toxins are, well, the body sees them as poisons and therefore works to eliminate them first, specifically alcohol. The body will stop pretty much doing any other sort of processing to rid itself of the alcohol. It's yeah, it's a very it's a hard one to tell Kiwis to curb. I think we have a bit of a drinking culture here, but certainly there are ways to support having alcohol in your life and support your body at the same time. I have put at the end of this book an appendices about alcohol and how to support your system as well. So if you are someone that drinks, then please do take a look at that. Right, number two. Eating plenty of fiber, including fresh fruits and vegetables, preferably organic or pesticide free. Beetroot, radishes, artichokes, cabbage, broccoli, spirulina, chlorella, and seaweed are excellent detoxifying foods. So when looking at what to eat when facing the produce aisle, I tend to recommend, even if it's not organic, I don't necessarily push that because that can be quite costly for people. But certainly buy what's in season. And the best way to know what is in season is look for all of the fruits and vegetables that are from New Zealand. Because anything that we're importing, really, chances are it's not going to be seasonal. It's going to be from, another season, and we're able to eat it here because of the great grocery superhighway that brings fruits and vegetables and other things to us, frozen or freeze dried or whatever, or preserved. Unfortunately for me, I've grown up in a household where Well, fortunately, unfortunately, my father works for Ministry of Primary Industries and has spent many, many decades looking at fruit as it arrives. And so he'll come and tell me, oh, don't eat those melons because they've been dipped in formaldehyde, and don't eat those ones because they've been dipped in this. And, all as a bug killing thing. So a lot of what we get from the US, especially, is dipped in chemicals to preserve the fruit as it's traveling. And so, taking a leaf out of my father's book, I suppose I've always just bought local, or I've bought what's from New Zealand. And the beauty of it in the supermarket is you can see that on the label. It'll say, this is a New Zealand orange or a New Zealand navel or whatever this is. Yeah, from Blenheim or something. So try your best to eat things from around the road or go to the markets. That's a really great place to get fresh stuff. If you're looking for something more economical, then there's a lot more veggie co-ops around at the moment, and you can still get a good week's worth or more of vegetables and fruits, probably about $30 worth, for about $12. So it's a really, really great way to boost your vegetable and fruits intake, and certainly things that are seasonal, because that's all that they'll deliver. So yeah, wonderful. Just on the last one there, and two, spirulina and chlorella. So spirulina, often you'll find this in, say, your Whole Food store, or the supplement area of the supermarket. And spirulina is just basically a lot of greens, and you can put them in your smoothies or over your salad or so on. Chlorella, again, is just another super green food, and great for hormonal system balancing, and just general well-being, really, because it's going to also alkalize the body a lot. So yeah, highly recommend. You can get a lot of these things now. Pico Whole Foods in Christchurch does a great one, and I'm sure there are many, many stores around the country, around the world, that supply such things. So especially if you're making smoothies, it's a great way to go. Number 3, minimize the use of chemical-based household cleaners and personal healthcare products. So all of your cleaning products, and it's amazing how many we use. Actually, when I was kitting out my new place, I went to buy things, and I was like, gosh, I really want to minimize what I'm using when, to clean the bathroom, to clean the kitchen, to even just wash my hands, that sort of thing, because I had shifted from normal store-bought skincare some years back to one that is preservative free, chemical free, and all natural and just delicious. And my skin just changed so dramatically over the years that now I can't use anything else. And then I thought, well, when I'm at home, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with my, when I'm cleaning the bathroom or whatever? And so there are now a lot of really cool healthy substitutes. They're not necessarily the most economical in terms of, I suppose they are more economical because you don't use as much, but they're not as cheap as the cheap and nasty chemical ones. So, but you can find in the supermarket, Eco Store, or the Earthwise ones, lots of these more green cleansers and so on. And the other alternative, truly, 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 you can do a hell of a lot with um, baking soda and white vinegar. Amazing. I think nature knew that we'd need a cleanser, and yeah, you can whiten up things. And funnily enough, now I wouldn't recommend drinking Coca-Cola, but my brother just said the other day that his friend shined up the rust dots off of his bumper with Coke. So just put it on there, give it a wee wipe, and voila, it was beautifully shiny and clean, and all the rust dots had gone. And I was like, gosh, that's something that so many people put inside their bodies, and he's using it to clean his car. Well, great cleanser if you need to. Apparently, it turns the toilet bowl really white as well. So if you're it's a lot cheaper than cleaners. But yeah, I haven't done it myself, but there you go. That's something. Um, Shampoos and deodorants and things as well. My husband and I both use a Crystal Rock. It's about this big. It lasts for years and years and years and years. You can get it from the health store. Crystal Rock deodorant. I used to use baking soda and coconut oil, so I'd just get a bit of coconut oil, rub it in my hands, and then put kind of half a teaspoon of um, baking soda there, and I'd use that as an underarm deodorant because what I found was that because coconut oil is absorbed so easily, the small amount of baking soda just kills any odor and bacteria. Um, I never, no matter how much I sweated during the day or whatever I was doing, active or anything, no problem, no odor. So brilliant if you're looking for a cheap alternative. And then I thought, something to carry around when I'm traveling. So I shifted to the crystal rock, and it's literally just a rock of mineral salt, and you just put water on it and use it, and it's amazing. It's amazing how well it works. So I highly recommend getting away from chemical-based cleaners and chemical-based creams and so on, and deodorants as well. Think about this. Where do you put your deodorant? You put it right on the lymph nodes. So that is the place that you least want chemicals going into, and that is where we put, something so toxic with all these ammoniums and aluminiums and so on. So really look at the ingredients of your cleansers and so on, and see what you can change, what you can swap out. If you want to know what I'm using, definitely do ask, and I'm happy to share. Number 4, reducing stress. Sounds easy. Hormones released in times of stress. We covered it. In times of stress, create toxins and slow down detoxification enzymes in the liver. Start with meditation, yoga, tai chi, qigong, or Ayurvedic practices, nature walks, deep diaphragmatic breathing, and emphasizing positive emotions. So those all sound like a lot of very easy, kind of not like a quick fix thing, but honestly, some of them really, really are an amazingly quick fix to stress. Certainly the last one there, deep diaphragmatic breathing. So if you place your hand on your belly and you breathe in, and the belly expands and then goes in, if you can do that 20 times a day, honestly, it will change your world. If you can do it breathing out, holding your breath, and then breathing back in, that's an even more dramatic change. What happens is that there is a physiological response in your brain to instruct the body to relax. So when you're feeling nervous, or if you've got something coming up, or you've just had a shock, that deep diaphragmatic breathing is such an amazing tool to use. And if you want some aids on that, I can recommend Breathe Mate is a free app, Breathe Mate, and you can put the time. There's a couple of them, I think, out there now. You put the time on how long you want to hold your breath for, and it will calculate the exact time for breathing in, holding it, and then breathing out, because they're different times, but beautiful. Sitting there, play a nice meditative song, do your 10 breaths or so, 10, 20 breaths, and if you can do that a few times during the day, you are actually actively reducing stress in your body and supporting your body's processes of detoxification. Isn't that amazing? Breathing, who knew? Number 5, cleanse and protect the liver by taking herbs such as dandelion root, burdock, and milk thistle, and drinking antioxidant-rich herbal teas like green tea and white tea, which are both present in USANA's liver detox support system, the HEPA Plus. So when I was going through my liver support, my liver cleanse, my digestion support, my leaky gut, like all of that to get my body into a place where it would actually digest my food, which it hadn't done in a really long time, and I was suffering so badly from it. I did take a parasitic cleanse, which had a lot of these things in it, especially the milk thistle, black walnut, that sort of thing. And then once I'd done that cleanse, I would take probiotics like you wouldn't believe. I'm sure that's in this list somewhere. Probiotics, green tea, the HEPA Plus, and lots of green leafy salads and herbs and things like that. And it's amazing how something that I suffered for so many years, like, oh, I don't know why I did it for so long to myself, but I managed to heal myself in 3 months. So if you can imagine, being in pain for so long, and then like that, just with a few smart tricks, using nature and really solid supplementation to support my nutrient system and my cell ability to repair and replenish themselves. 3 months, brilliant. Um, Number 6, taking vitamin C, which helps the body produce glutathione, a liver compound that drives away toxins. If you are on the Reset program or you do take Health Pack or Essentials, then obviously you have plenty of vitamin C in there. There's also an optimizer with extra vitamin C. Some people like to take that when there are colds and things around, so you can do so. But yeah, brilliant. Number 7, sweat in a sauna so your body can eliminate waste through perspiration. If you can handle that. Another way is just exercise, which is number 8 on the list. Exercise 30 to 60 minutes every day. And really, exercise doesn't need to be hard. It doesn't need to be going gung ho in the gym. It just needs to be something you enjoy. So I got a puppy lately, recently, my husband and I. So I've been loving taking him through the forest and down the beach and so on. And it's a really good excuse to get out, So I can take the dog for a walk. So it gets me out there. But otherwise, any of those things, the qigong and yoga and so on, are also exercise, that is movement. Our bodies are not built to sit and stand all day long. So get out there and move and do something that you love. Dancing. There's so many cool classes out there now. A friend and I, we took a voucher and did pole dancing classes and burlesque exercise. Actually, they're fitness classes. Like, it's kind of crazy. Um, I'm not the best. Always, yeah, not the best at certainly not the pole dancing. It definitely was not my thing. And burlesque exercise was just a lot of fun. It's just fun, a bunch of ladies getting together and having a boogie to some cool music. So find your thing that you love and do that. Just move. Number 9, add some friendly bacteria to your digestive system. Reintroducing some strains of microorganisms into the gut flora is going to reduce symptoms of poor digestion, bloating, flatulence, and discomfort, and enable balance and harmony in digestion. So, as I mentioned earlier, to support myself, I took probiotics, and I took seriously. Normally it says 1 tablet a day or something like that. I was taking the USANA sachet, so it's a dairy-free alternative, and I can just mix it with water or take it straight. And I was taking 3 times, no, 6 times, 6 times the recommended dose, because the average dose is just for normal maintenance of health, and I wanted it to totally kick my bad bacteria's butt. So yeah, I was taking, instead of every other day, I was taking 3 of them per day every day for 2 months. So yeah, and brilliant. And now I can't do without them. I just take a normal dose every other day or so. But yeah, it's so important, because the gut flora can be killed off just like that. Have a cup of coffee, have some sugar, whatever, and you're already killing off that good bacteria that helps your body to process and to absorb the nutrients. And and if you have got bloating or pain, do consider getting either a parasitic cleanse from your herbalist, or having a colonic hydrotherapy, or just doing a really good course of the HEPA support and the probiotics. Because in my case, I learned that if you imagine you've got your intestinal walls here, and inside of these millions and millions of these tiny little hairs called villi, they're supposed to be like this, right? Kind of each other, and absorb the nutrients out into the bloodstream. Well, mine were flat, like dead. They're so lifeless, because there was no good gut flora there, and nothing to kind of charge it. It was just overrun with bad bacteria. And what that did first was make me a little insensitive to some foods, dairy and gluten, first of all. And after that, it was everything. So, I mean, a carrot would give me pain, a cup of tea. It didn't matter what it was. I'd bloat out looking very heavily pregnant when I wasn't. and just pain and discomfort, and it just was horrible. So don't let it get to that point. If you've got a little bit of, problem after eating, then do do consider doing a cleanse. When I spoke to the herbalist who gave me the parasitic cleanse, he said, speaking specifically of New Zealand, he said 75% of New Zealanders are living with a parasite in their intestines and they don't even know. So, and that's of the people that actually go and have a cleanse, you know what I mean? So there's probably squillions more who don't bother. And it's purely because of the imbalance in what we're eating. So the amount of toxins in our food and, preservatives and colors and additives and all that junk and also the other things, the stressors and, maybe alcohol or cigarettes if that's your thing. And so every time that happens and there isn't anything good going in to support the system, then that's another thing your body has to deal with. So yeah, it's a tough one. If you're not adding anything good in there, it's gonna take a long time. All right, number 10, dairy products. So dairy products have been linked to a number of health problems, from simply feeling lethargic and sluggish to high cholesterol levels and obesity. Cutting dairy from your diet may reveal an unsuspected intolerance and could even have health benefits. Alternative milks are easier for the body to digest than cow's milk and contain none of the animal hormones that we struggle to process. So, again, I don't tell anyone to quit dairy if they like dairy products, but I do ask you to be mindful of how much you're consuming. And what kind of dairy are you consuming? A bit of butter and a bit of yogurt with probiotic in it is not really the same as having lots of milkshakes and melted cheese, or there's differences there. For me, I remembered that when I was a little girl, I would um, I would have juice or water on my cereal, and I could never drink a glass of milk. And interestingly enough, now I look back and I go, my back then my 5-year-old body knew not to have that, because it obviously made me feel unwell or mucousy, or that's why they say don't have dairy products when you're ill, because it creates a lot of mucus, very acid forming, and you're trying to cleanse that when you've got a cold. So back then I knew that, and then over time I learned I conditioned myself to have, maybe chocolate milk or something in there to be able to have milk. And cheese, I started to learn how to eat cheese. I'd have grated cheese I could manage, until I built up this tolerance to something that obviously was not good for me. Even yogurt and so on. And so when it got to the point where I had this leaky gut and all of this issue, um, I was kind of like, well, dairy's got to be the first thing to go because it just causes me such agony. And the alternative at the time was soy milk. And although, I mean, I'm kind of a bit on the fence about soy milk, a little bit, it's not going to, you know, do so much damage, but I do wonder about where our soy milks come from and so on. That's a whole other story. But nowadays, you can get almond milk, oat milk, rice milk, all sorts of things, coconut milk, so many things. And then actual fact, it's even easier to just create your own nut milk. Some places around town where I live, they have they make their own almond, hazelnut, and cashew nut milk. And basically, really easy. If you've got a really decent blender like a Vitamix or something, you just need fresh water. You soak the almonds overnight, or the whatever nuts you want to use. Soak them overnight, and then drain them off, and then put fresh, preferably alkaline water. So if you have an alkaline machine, I have a Kangen machine. If you want to know about that, please do ask me. I'm happy to share. But the more alkaline the water, the better it is. Um, and then you just put, say, 2 cups of water to 1 cup of almonds, and you blend it up, and then you put it through a milk bag, which you can just get from, normally from your health store. And honestly, you squeeze it out. You've got almond meal, which I don't know about you, but it can cost a lot of money. So you've got almond meal that you can use either for making really good dog biscuits or actually making really good human food as well. I use that a lot in my cooking. And then the milk is honestly the most beautiful thing. It is so sweet, just naturally from the nut, and it's delicious. And you can add cinnamon and spices and vanilla essence in there if you want to make it, special milk. But honestly, it's so much cheaper and it tastes amazing and it's really, really good for you. And your body can just digest that so much easier than cow's milk, which was, made for cows. So yeah, I highly recommend reducing the amount of dairy you have or simply cutting it out altogether if that's your inclination. Are there any questions about what I've said so far? Just move that around. Anyone got anything they want to ask or any experiences you'd like to share with anything there? Please raise your hand or type in the box there. Got a question coming through. Yeah, so good almond milk. The one I found that is the best is the macro almond milk. So macro organics, they do a whole lot of kind of gluten-free, healthy range. And that's the one that I found that has the least amount of processing and ingredients. The other one that's really good is I think it's an Australian brand, I believe, and you can get it from Liberty Market. They have, I think it's called Almond Breeze or Australian Way or something like that, and that's another really good one. What I find with the So Good one is that it's it's got like a couple of different oils, couple of different sweeteners. Unless you find one that's not sweet, because some of them put sugars in there. But even the macro one has it's like four ingredients, three ingredients or something, rather than a whole list. So just have a look at the labels and. But I mean, to be honest with you, there are worse things in the world than almond milk. So if you're trying to choose an almond milk that suits, then and you're going by price, then really the almond milks out there are not that bad, and neither are the rice milks or the oat milks. Everything I've seen there, are pretty good, except for the original So Good soy milks I found have a lot of really unnecessarily ingredients in there, unnecessary ingredients. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Um, any other questions, please just type them in there and I'll answer as I go. So moving on now to cardiovascular training and resistance training. So these are two kinds of exercises. All right, so I'm going to read through and I'll just add in a little as we go. Exercise is extremely important to your success on this program and in life. We as a society have become too sedentary, driving to work, sitting at work, eating poorly at our desks or in our cars, driving home again only to sit in front of the television for the evening. And whatever happened to movement? Cardio exercises, also known as aerobic exercises, are activities that cause a person's heart rate to increase, to think huffy puffy. Generally, cardio exercises are activities in which a person is continuously moving over a sustained period of time that's longer than 2 minutes. So any team sport, jogging, swimming, walking, your treadmills, your ellipticals, all of those things at the gym and the cardio room, those are all, puffy puffy. Your spin classes, those sorts of things. Um, anything that you do that raises the heart rate and gets you breathing heavy for a prolonged period of time, and it doesn't have to be marathon prolonged, but just more than 2 minutes, then you're accessing an energy system that is great for heart health. So benefits of cardio training include improving cholesterol levels, heart health and endurance, longer life, lowering of blood pressure over time, and better circulation. aids against digestion, and helps to maintain your healthy weight levels when reached. So even walking is considered cardio, so helping your heart. So do it's not necessarily the slowest total slow pace where you're not really raising your heart rate at all, but certainly a brisk walk is going to help. Absolutely. So resistance, the difference here. Resistance exercises known as anaerobic exercises are activities that recruit the various muscle groups to overcome resistance force. So when resistance training is undertaken repeatedly and consistently, muscles become stronger. Think of it as you're adding that force to the muscle, tearing it down a little bit, it repairs and then is able to, to be stronger for the next session. Different types of resistance training include free weights, so at your gym and so on, you've got dumbbells and barbells and racks and things like that. You've also got pin weighted machines, so you slot the pin in and the machines will go up and down or push and pull. So these devices have adjustable seats and handles and so on, really able you to adjust to your height and your needs. Some of them are also assisted, so you can, say for example, if you wanted to do a chin up, but you didn't feel that you had the strength to do that on your own, then you can have an assisted machine which takes away some of your body weight and allows you to do the exercise. Gym sticks as well. Gym sticks are a fiberglass stick with two resistant bands at the end and foot loops at the end of those. And if you use those, then basically what you're doing is resistance training without weight. So your joints are able to lock into place without, say for example, without shrugging, without straining, and because there's no weight load going through, you're able to elongate the muscles and work more eccentrically, so on the negative phase, which helps you to build muscles in other ways. So really, really good workout at gym stick if you can find a class near you, or certainly order one online. They come with their own CD, DVD, so you can do them from home. Really easy to travel with as well, gym sticks. And body weight is the easiest form. So squats, lunges, push-ups, chin-ups, all that sort of stuff. All at lunges, when you're out in the park or whatever. Really, really good. I had a friend when I was living in Japan, and I taught her about squats. She would stand in the queue to get her train ticket and do squats, and she'd do lunges when she was cooking, and I was like, that is so cool. Someone who's just so committed to improving their health that they'll do it anywhere and everywhere. So yeah, body weight, convenient, free, and obviously adjust to how your strength is. You're able to do more things. Say for example, go from a knees push up on your knees to a full on your toes, full plank type push up. So that's really cool too. You watch your own improvement there, and then you can maybe move to greater things. Benefits of resistance training include improved muscle strength and tone, faster fat loss, prevention and control of health conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, pain management, improved mobility and balance, improved posture, decreased risk of injury, increased bone density and strength, increased muscle to fat ratio, boosted metabolism, which is burning more calories from fat when at rest. Really good if you're doing resistance training is that afterburn effect. Improved sleep patterns, increased self-esteem, enhanced performance of everyday tasks. So if you have your book there printed in front of you, or you have an electronic something, or you just have a piece of paper beside you, write down how much you exercise per week, or how often, if it's every day or if it's once a week, and do write down if it's just a walk or something like that, it's still exercise. And actually what's not on that page is how much would you like to do. So what would you like to do this coming week to support your new lifestyle of adding in things. I'm going to give you a couple minutes there. Then what I'd like to do is open up space for you to share your experience over the week or to ask any questions. I'll just give you a couple of minutes there to have a if anyone has anything they'd like to raise? Let's go right ahead. Okay, so just moving on to the aim of the game this week. So sure, you won't have seen this because this is in your workbook, which I will send you. This is your journal. So hopefully last week, those of you who started last week used these columns and wrote in, the day and the time you woke up, what time you ate first, and what you ate. Don't worry about these here, the percentages on the left. Not so important just yet because we haven't really gone into those. But do just write what you're eating. So last week there was no restriction or anything on what you should eat. It was just a matter of eating every 3 hours using the schedule in week 1. So this week, what I'd like you to look at is using that detoxification list. So how to detoxify, looking at, okay, where can I reduce alcohol or coffee or caffeinated beverages, sugary things. Start to reduce those this week. So when you're writing in here what you're having, just put your meals. You might already be looking at the recipe book and using some of those recipes there. And by all means, you can start that at any point. They're all ultra low glycemic meals, which means you're always going to be in the fat burning zone when you're eating one portion from those meals in that book. Even the desserts, believe it or not. So that's why they're in there, so that you can still enjoy a sweet treat whilst getting your body into a fat burning mode. So do use that and do share your experiences with any of the recipes. And if you find any other recipes you'd like to share, by all means, or any you'd like me to tweak for you, if you have one that you're like, I really love this, but I don't think it's very healthy, what can you do to it to make it a little healthier? Then absolutely, I'm totally cool with that. So do go through this and use this journal, or just use your little notepad, your little this wee one, or your phone if you keep things on your phone. Do put in when you go to bed and how much water you drink, and of course now you're looking at specifically how much exercise did you do, and just put in, maybe say I did 30 minutes of intensive running or light weight, or I did a yoga class, or whatever it is, just put that in there. The whole purpose with these journals is that it gets you in a habit, it gets you to focus, and it gets you in a place to easily be able to reflect on your day or your week. But most importantly, because this course is for you, it helps me to help you. So we can actually talk on the phone, or if any of you want to show your journal or ask a question, then I'm able to ask, what was going on for you that day, and it's much easier for me to assist you. So another page of those. That is the end for tonight. So I do have space for questions. If you are able to finish the voting here, so this is just on any successes and challenges, please by all means do fill that in. Otherwise, you're welcome to email me, or on Facebook, go to the Health for Life page and ask questions in that group as well. Otherwise, next week it will be week 3, and you'll be well and truly into your cleansing detox time. For those of you who are doing a reset program, or those of you who want to, I know some of you I've spoken to want to do that now, or want to actually share this with other people and have them start. So you're most welcome to do that, and just share the video with them. After week 3, I'd ask that we just keep the group as it is, and anyone who wants to start it anew, then we'll start them from the beginning, because 6 weeks is a decent amount of time, but 3 weeks is really not. It's harder to catch up. So But certainly between now and then, you're most welcome to share this with other people. If you want to do an exercise or healthy eating program with support, then definitely ask one of your friends or family members to go with you. I think it's a great idea. I've chosen to go through this myself. I used to do that a lot in the past. When I started a program, I would do it myself and see what's happened. And already I'm feeling much better, drinking a lot more water, and just feeling overall, yeah, healthier, which is great. So that's it from me tonight. Any further questions, I'll leave the room open for a little bit longer just so I can jot those down for next week, and I'll be sure to answer them. So thanks everyone.